You have the channel idea. You may even have the logo, the banner, the thumbnails, and the motivation. But here is the problem. Most creators do not fail because they lack ideas. They fail because the channel has no structure. Maybe you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for weeks, months, or even years. But every time you sit down to begin, the same questions come back. What should I post first? Who is this channel really for? What kind of videos should I make? How do I find inspiration without copying someone else? And how do I avoid wasting time building a channel that has no direction? So you start looking at other YouTube channels for ideas. But inspiration can quickly become imitation. And when you copy too closely, you risk more than poor originality. You risk copyright problems, weak positioning, and a channel that never develops its own identity.
Let's jump right into it. Today in this explainer, we're doing a deep dive into why so many new YouTube channels just completely stall out before they even get off the ground. And spoiler alert, it has absolutely nothing to do with buying the wrong camera or having the wrong lighting setup. We're taking a strategic look at what we call the creator problem. We're going to strip away all that generic advice you usually hear and really examine what fails to happen behind the scenes before that very first piece of content is ever published. Here is the core of the issue, and it's actually pretty simple. Most creators do not fail because they lack ideas. They fail because the channel has no architecture. Think about it. Your Notes app is probably overflowing with creative sparks and half-written concepts, right? The issue isn't your motivation or your creativity. It's structural failure. Without an underlying blueprint, it really doesn't matter how brilliant your individual ideas are because the foundation simply cannot hold the weight of your ambition.
And that lack of architecture? Well, it leads straight into what's known as the imitation trap. You see this all the time. Creators look at massive, established personalities and try to just copy what they're doing, but without having their built-in scale or resources. The result? It's a scattered mess. We're talking random video ideas, totally inconsistent thumbnails, and messaging that just leaves people scratching their heads. You end up making really broad audience assumptions, basically trying to reach everyone, which means you end up reaching no one. Combine that with weak titles and zero content pillars, and suddenly, viewers have absolutely no clear reason to hit that subscribe button.
Now, all of that randomness comes with a heavy, heavy cost. Imagine a viewer landing on a scattered channel like that. They don't understand the brand, so, naturally, they leave. But it's not just the viewers you're losing. The YouTube platform itself gets confused. It receives incredibly weak SEO signals. It literally cannot categorize your authority, which means it doesn't know how to serve your content to the right audience. So you're putting in this massive amount of effort, pulling all-nighters to edit, but zero momentum is actually being built. When that happens, burnout isn't just a possibility, it's practically inevitable.
You've probably heard the most common piece of generic advice out there. Just be consistent, right? But here's the reality check. Generic posting habits are absolutely not a substitute for a structured brand architecture. Publishing consistently without a strategy just means you are efficiently running in the completely wrong direction. A true professional creator infrastructure requires deliberate positioning. You have to lock in your audience clarity, nail down your technical SEO direction, and build clear authority signals well before your content can actually start working for you.
To really understand what a properly engineered environment actually looks like, let's examine the visual architecture of the Calm Focus Studio case study. Notice how the logo uses this beautifully minimal, clean design paired with a deep navy and warm gold palette. And the banner perfectly mirrors that exact same cinematic mood. But it goes a step further by pairing those visuals with a highly specific tagline: calmer space, clearer mind, better work. This isn't just a random collection of graphics thrown together in 5 minutes. It is a unified, premium brand identity that instantly signals emotional safety and focus the second you arrive. So the big question is, how do we actually build this structure? Well, before you ever hit post, you need the blueprint solution. It's a 5-step process. First, define exactly who the channel is for. Get specific. Second, establish your core promise. What exact transformation are you guaranteeing your viewers? Third, build repeatable content pillars to prevent that random topic drift we talked about earlier. Fourth, design a unified visual identity. And finally, step 5, map out your initial 30-day launch. You need to ensure every single early piece of content has a highly specific title and a targeted keyword ready to go. When you implement a strategic blueprint like this, you completely replace guesswork with precision, smart positioning, and a production-ready deployment. Using a dedicated system like a Channel Launchpad essentially acts as your strategic brain. It compresses what would normally be weeks of confusing, frustrating planning into one structured format. By organizing your foundation in advance, you completely eliminate that old post and pray methodology. You transition from being just a hobbyist hoping for a random viral hit into a true architect deploying a highly professional system. So here is the golden rule. Do not post first and organize later. Doing that practically guarantees you're going to face these exact creator problems. Instead, build your channel blueprint first and then publish with undeniable direction. Take the time to engineer your foundation, establish those content pillars, and craft your visual identity before you ever hit upload. So I'll leave you with this question to think about regarding your own channel right now. Are you building on a deliberately engineered architecture, or are you just imitating, guessing, and hoping for the best?
Then comes the random launch. You open YouTube Studio, you create the channel, you design a logo, you upload a banner, you make a watermark, you create thumbnails, you start posting. But there is still no long-term strategy, no clear audience, no content pillars, no searchable structure, no repeatable system, no reason for viewers to come back. And before long, the channel becomes exhausting. Not because you are lazy, not because you have no ideas, but because every video feels like starting from zero. And if you are a YouTube branding team, a creative agency, or a strategy organization, the pressure is even heavier. You may have piles of client notes, quote requests, intake forms, niche ideas, unfinished brand directions, and overdue deliverables sitting in your system. The client is waiting. The deadline has passed. And now you need more than a nice-looking channel package. You need a structured blueprint. You need to turn scattered client information into a clear channel foundation. Positioning, audience, content direction, SEO structure, visual identity, and launch plan. Before you post another video, before you design another thumbnail, and before you build another channel from guesswork, you need to answer the questions that actually shape the channel. Who is this channel for? What does it promise? How should it be found? What makes it different? And why should viewers return? That is where the Channel Launchpad Assistant comes in. The assistant is not just a chatbot giving random tips. It is a creator channel architecture system. It helps turn a raw idea, a scattered niche, or an unfinished client brief into a structured YouTube channel blueprint with clarity, direction, and a plan you can actually use. But before we explore the assistant itself, I should tell you how it came about and why I created it in the first place. Because Channel Launchpad did not begin as a full assistant, it started with a much simpler idea, a Notion template. I created a Notion template for launching YouTube channels called the One-Click YouTube Channel Launchpad. The idea was simple. Give creators one organized place to plan the channel before they started posting. It helped with structure. It helped with clarity. It helped creators think beyond just uploading videos. But over time, I realized something important. A static template could organize the process, but it could not truly interpret a creator's idea. It could not understand the niche. It could not shape the positioning. It could not adjust the strategy based on the creator's audience, content goals, or brand direction. That is when I knew the system had to evolve. So I moved the idea into a digital AI system, specifically a custom GPT. That became Channel Launchpad Brand Architect, the assistant. Instead of giving creators another blank planning document, the assistant guides them through a structured questionnaire. With the right input, it can help generate a complete YouTube channel blueprint for a specific niche, audience, and brand direction. Not just random ideas, not just a list of video topics, not just a logo prompt, a full creator channel foundation. That is why I created Channel Launchpad Brand Architect, the Assistant. It is designed to help creators turn a raw channel idea into a structured creator channel blueprint. It does not simply give random advice. It builds the foundation, positioning, messaging, SEO direction, content architecture, visual identity strategy, and a first 30-day launch system. Before you start posting, the assistant helps you understand what the channel is supposed to become. The assistant has two main runs, Standard and PRO. Standard is the foundation. This is the first step for anyone who wants to create a proper YouTube channel with direction, clarity, and purpose. In the Standard run, the assistant helps structure the core of the channel. It defines the channel's strategic direction. It clarifies the audience. It shapes the positioning. It organizes the content pillars. It builds the messaging and SEO framework. It gives you a launch sequence, and it gives you a practical first 30-day content plan. So instead of asking, "What should I post today?" every single time, you now have a system, a direction, a structure, a launch map. And Standard does not stop at written strategy. It also gives the channel visual direction. That includes logo direction, banner direction, watermark direction, thumbnail overlay ideas, color palette, typography, and the overall visual mood of the channel. Because on YouTube, consistency matters. Your channel should not look like 5 different creators are running it. The visuals, the messaging, the topics, the titles, and the thumbnails should feel connected. Standard gives you that first level of brand consistency, so the channel starts with a recognizable identity, not a random collection of uploads. So when I say Standard gives you the whole 9 yards, this is what I mean. You get the strategic blueprint. You get the channel direction. You get the audience structure. You get the messaging and SEO framework. You get the visual identity direction. You get the 30-day launch plan. And you get keyword and content guidance for your niche. This is not meant to replace your creativity. It is meant to organize it. Because once your channel has a foundation, your creativity has somewhere to go. Then there is PRO. PRO does not replace Standard. PRO builds on top of it. You still get the Standard foundation first, the channel structure, the positioning, the visual direction, the messaging, the launch plan, and the content system. But PRO expands the strategy with a deeper layer. One of the most important additions is public research. And that matters because research is no longer optional if you are serious about growing on YouTube. You need to understand the niche. You need to see how other channels are positioning themselves. You need to identify patterns. You need to avoid copying while still learning from the market. And you need to find a path that gives your channel a clearer place to stand. The Pro Public Research Pass is a limited sample, but it is extremely useful, especially for a beginner's channel. It helps you see the market around your niche. It can reveal what kind of channels already exist, what kind of topics are showing up, what angles are being used, and where your own channel can be positioned more clearly. The goal is not to copy what is already working. The goal is to understand the landscape, then build your own direction with more confidence. That is what elevates the channel from a simple idea to a more professional creator channel plan. If you want subscribers, you need more than uploads. You need a reason for people to care, a reason for them to click, a reason for them to come back. and a reason for them to understand what your channel stands for. That is where research becomes powerful. It helps you avoid building in the dark. It helps you see what your audience may already be responding to. It helps you identify where your niche is crowded. And it helps you find a clearer path before you spend months posting videos with no direction.
Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into how the assistant thinks, from idea to blueprint. We're going to look at exactly how it takes a raw, messy concept and turns it into a fully architected system. Let's get right into it.
So, how do you turn a messy pile of video ideas into a premium creator channel? Man, I remember when I was first starting out. My desk was literally just covered in scattered notes. I had these broad, vague ideas, no real sense of who my audience was, and zero SEO direction. It was pure chaos. And honestly, it was completely overwhelming. Okay, let's dive into this, because I eventually realized a really hard truth. I had a channel idea, but I didn't have a channel structure. And that is exactly why the Channel Launchpad Assistant was built in the first place. It acts as your brand architect to completely replace all that stressful guesswork with a rigorous, reliable system. The before and after here is just night and day. We're talking about going from drowning in weak positioning and scattered thoughts, which, let's face it, we've all been there, to having a highly structured brand architecture. You get crystal clear positioning and a complete 30-day execution map before you ever even turn on a camera. So how does it actually work? Well, it all kicks off with a structured intake layer. The assistant isn't just some chatbot guessing what you want. It actually asks for 6 very precise inputs. You just feed it your channel name idea, your niche, value proposition, target audience, your visual mood, and some SEO keywords. Then you just pick your operating mode, either standard or pro. Once you hit go, it moves right into the interpretation layer. This is where the assistant strategically reads your intake to figure out exactly where you fit into the market. It maps out your audience persona, it nails down your core channel promise, and this is absolutely crucial, it identifies generic positioning risks. So you literally know exactly what traps to avoid right from the jump.
And this brilliantly illustrates the next step, the strategic architecture layer. Those raw initial inputs, they totally transform. What was once just a vague idea becomes this massive 16-module brand infrastructure blueprint. It essentially builds out a complete, professional foundation tailored entirely to your specific vision. It systematically builds out your positioning, your SEO framework, your content moat, and the viewer journey. But honestly, for me, the immense psychological relief comes from the 30-day execution map. Just having a predictable, day-by-day launch sequence right in front of you, it completely removes that paralyzing anxiety of what on earth do I post next? Now, let's talk about the 2 modes. Standard mode gives you this complete written foundation. You get the launch plan, SEO tracker logic, and brand direction all laid out before you post. But Pro mode? Oh man, Pro expands this into serious strategic authority. It layers in deep persona architecture, spots competitive gaps, and builds out clear monetization pathways. And Pro doesn't just, guess what might work. It actually activates a protected public YouTube data API pass to sample live market data. It maps out strategic white space, analyzes your growth constraints, and delivers a competitive intelligence snapshot that is backed by real, live market signals. No guesswork. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the blueprint expands way beyond a simple launch plan. As you can see, it evolves into a complete competitive and monetization architecture. It's actively engineering a genuine competitive advantage for you in a crowded market, rather than just spitting out generic advice. But here's the thing. The strategy document is really only half the magic. Right behind that blueprint is the gateway handoff JSON. This is the highly organized, machine-ready operational data layer. It's quietly working in the background, structuring your launch rows, your SEO, and all your delivery targets. So the crucial point here is that the assistant isn't just giving you friendly, chatty advice. This data layer meticulously structures 30 days of launch and SEO tracking behind the scenes. It is literally converting a written strategy into a precise, executable technical architecture that's ready for whatever workflow you use. Under a locked backend contract, it precisely generates 30 launch plan rows, 30 linked SEO tracker rows, and 12 channel keyword clusters.
And if you're running Pro, it adds 12 research evidence rows and structures specific asset requests. It is building real, tangible infrastructure for you, row by meticulously coded row. Plus, on every single run, the system generates mandatory, authoritative visuals based directly on that intake move you provided. It literally translates your strategy into an exact logo, banner, and watermark concept, making absolutely sure your channel looks incredibly premium right from day one.
The total transformation here is just incredible to experience. Personally, I went from an overwhelmed, messy content board to total calm focus. Having a predictable launch roadmap and a machine-ready brand strategy, it finally frees you up to actually do what you love, which is simply to create. Let's move to this next point, because it all really builds to one core philosophy. Optimization keeps you relevant, but positioning makes you irreplaceable. Competing on deep structural clarity is always going to be competing on exhausting, high-volume uploading. So, the golden rule is simple. Build infrastructure before you post. Leaving you with a final thought? Are you just uploading random videos hoping for a lucky hit, or are you ready to actually architect a brand? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you guys next time.
But PRO public research inside the assistant is still a starting layer. It gives you a valuable sample. It gives beginners a stronger foundation. It helps position the channel in a more informed way. But for deeper research, deeper diagnostics, and more advanced growth analysis, that is where the second phase comes in. ChannelLaunchpad.net. The assistant helps you launch smarter. The website helps you grow smarter. The assistant gives you the starting architecture. The website goes deeper into competitive positioning, content opportunity mapping, market intelligence, long-term sustainability, and growth research for channels that need more than a basic blueprint. So the path is simple. If you're starting a YouTube channel, begin with the assistant. Use Standard if you need the foundation. Use Pro if you want the foundation plus a research-informed expansion. And if you already have a channel, but you are struggling with clicks, subscribers, retention, positioning, or long-term growth, then ChannelLaunchpad.net is the next step. Because Channel Launchpad is not just about posting more content, it is about building the right channel architecture before scaling the wrong strategy. Now that you know why the assistant was created, let's look at what it actually produces. First, we will go through a standard blueprint. Then, we will look at a PRO run and see how the research layer expands the foundation. This is where the assistant becomes more than a concept. You can actually see the structure. Now, this is important. The assistant and ChannelLaunchpad.net are connected, but they are not the same thing. The assistant is where you start. ChannelLaunchpad.net is where you go deeper. The assistant gives you the foundation. It helps you stop guessing and start building with structure. It gives you direction. It gives you clarity. It gives you a 30-day plan so you are not posting random videos and hoping something works. And if you activate the Pro Research Run, the assistant also gives you one free public research pass. A first look into your niche market. Think of it as getting one foot in the door. It helps you see what is happening around your niche. It helps you understand the kind of channels, videos, angles, and positioning already showing up. And it helps you begin shaping your channel with more confidence. For a new creator, this foundation is critical because YouTube is not only about uploading more videos, it is about building a channel people can understand. When your channel has a clear direction, your audience knows what to expect. When your topics are connected, your content becomes easier to follow. When your branding is consistent, your channel becomes easier to recognize. And when your content serves a specific audience, viewers have a stronger reason to come back. That is what the assistant is designed to do. It helps you become serious about your channel before you waste months posting without a system. It does not promise instant success. It gives you something better, a structured starting point. Now, Channel Launchpad. Net takes the process further. If the assistant gives you the foundation, the website adds deeper research behind the strategy. This is especially useful when you already have a channel and something is not working. Maybe you are posting, but the clicks are low. Maybe people are watching once but not returning. Maybe your niche feels crowded. Maybe your content looks similar to everyone else's. Maybe you are not sure what makes your channel. That is where deeper research becomes powerful. Channel Launchpad. Net is built for more advanced analysis, competitor positioning, opportunity gaps, content angles, market patterns, and long term sustainability. It helps you move beyond beginner planning and start thinking more like a professional creator. But let me be clear, research does not replace creativity, it sharpens it. The purpose of research is not to copy competitors. The purpose is to understand the landscape so you can bring something better, clearer, and more valuable to your audience. A lot of creators follow the same trends. They use the same angles. They make the same thumbnails. They repeat the same talking points. But when you understand your niche properly, you can see what is missing. You can identify what your audience is not getting. You can create videos that feel familiar enough to be understood, but different enough to be remembered. That is where real positioning begins. This is also why research matters for growth. The algorithm does not simply reward you because you did research. It responds to viewer behavior. If people click, watch, return, and engage, YouTube receives stronger signals that your content is relevant. So, the real power of research is that it helps you make better decisions before you publish. Better topics, better positioning, better title, better audience alignment, better content promises, better reasons for viewers to come back. When you understand what your audience wants, what competitors are missing, and where your channel can stand apart, you are no longer creating blindly. You are building with intelligence. So here is the simple way to understand it. If you are starting a new YouTube channel, start with the assistant. Use standard if you need the foundation. Use pro if you want the foundation plus a free public research sample to help you understand your niche. But if you already have a channel and you are struggling with clicks, traction, positioning, retention, or long term growth, then go deeper with Channel Launchpad. Net. The assistant helps you launch smarter. Channel Launchpad. Net helps you grow smarter. The assistant gives you the structure. Deep research gives you the intelligence to refine, compete, and improve over time.
Let's break down the Channel Launchpad ecosystem. Assistant versus ChannelLaunchpad.net. Start here, go deeper there. As an architect for creator brands, I look at this as a unified, two-part system designed specifically for creators, consultants, and coaches. Because you're all at completely different stages of your journey, there are two distinct entry points. Let's explore exactly how they solve two very different problems. Think of it as a clear division of labor. First, you have the assistant, which acts as your strategic brain and your starting blueprint. Then you have ChannelLaunchpad.net, which operates much more like a deep research lab. Now, they absolutely work together, but they serve entirely different moments in your brand's lifecycle, moving you smoothly from foundational building straight into advanced market expansion. If you're building a new channel, the assistant is essentially your mandatory starting gateway before you ever hit publish. It helps you nail down your positioning, get total clarity on your audience, establish your core content pillars, and build out your SEO structure and authority signals. It even wraps all of that into a focused first 30-day launch plan. It's basically compressing weeks of planning into a precise, actionable blueprint. The golden rule here: do not start by just uploading random videos or testing out scattered ideas. It's actually a bit surprising, but most creators don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack architecture. You can post consistently, you can chase every trend, but without a structured blueprint and clear positioning, you're just going to remain invisible. The assistant makes sure you build that crucial infrastructure first. This brings us to what we call the separation principle. The assistant is incredibly strategic, but its job is foundational. Once your channel is actually up and publishing, the entire game shifts. You're no longer just building a foundation. You are transitioning into a phase where you need advanced, evidence-backed market intelligence to actually scale. And that is exactly where the deeper research layer of ChannelLaunchpad.net comes in. This is built for creators who already have a channel but might be struggling with traction or competitive positioning. It dives into stronger market intelligence, performs detailed content gap analysis, and translates actual public market data into long-term growth decisions. It's all about sustained, ongoing channel optimization. So the decision of which tool to use is highly strategic, but it's pretty simple. Are you starting a new channel or maybe restructuring one from scratch? Then you start with the assistant. But if you have an existing channel that's struggling to get clicks, lacking traction, or you just need to find competitive white space, that's when you turn to ChannelLaunchpad.net to go deeper. Think of these as two connected, sequential tools in your brand architect's arsenal. They are absolutely not competing products. One is your starting gateway, and the other is your long-term research engine. The assistant gives you that vital initial clarity, and the website extends that very foundation with hard, data-driven evidence as you grow. It really boils down to this elegant, simple relationship. The assistant gives you the blueprint, and ChannelLaunchpad.net helps you go deeper when you need real research to back up your strategy. You start smarter, and then you grow smarter. It completely removes the guesswork from the equation. So, I'll leave you with this question. Where exactly are you in your creator journey right now? Is your channel an idea that desperately needs a solid starting blueprint? Or is it time for the deeper market intelligence required to actually scale? Identify your stage, choose your tool, and build your brands deliberately.
But for this video, we are staying focused on the assistant because this is where the journey begins. This is where a raw idea becomes a channel blueprint. This is where scattered thoughts become a system. And this is where a creator stops asking, "What should I post?" and starts asking the better question: "What kind of channel am I building?" This is where the transformation becomes clear. Before using Channel Launchpad Brand Architect, the assistant, a creator may have an idea, a niche, a few video topics, and maybe even some visual inspiration. But those pieces do not automatically create a channel. The channel may still lack direction. It may not have a clear audience. It may not have a strong positioning statement. It may not have content pillars. It may not have SEO direction. It may not have a 30-day plan. And it may not have a consistent visual identity that makes the channel feel connected. After using the assistant, those scattered pieces become a structured creator. Channel blueprint. The creator now knows who the channel is for. They know what the channel promises. They know what content pillars will guide the videos. They know how the channel should be discovered. They have a 30-day launch plan to follow. And they have visual identity guidance for the logo, banner, watermark, thumbnails, colors, and overall channel look. That is the real transformation before. The creator is trying to post their way into clarity. After, the creator is publishing from a clear structure. Before, the channel is a collection of ideas. After, the channel becomes a system. This is the difference between random posting and launching with architecture. So, what actually changes when a creator uses the assistant? The easiest way to understand it is this. Before Channel Launchpad, most creators have pieces. After Channel Launchpad, they have a system. Before, there may be an idea. After, there is architecture. Before Channel Launchpad, the creator may have a broad idea for a channel. Maybe they know the niche. Maybe they have a few video topics. Maybe they have saved screenshots from other channels for inspiration. Maybe they have started designing a logo, a banner, or a thumbnail style. But the deeper structure is missing. There is no clear positioning statement, no defined audience, no content pillar system, no SEO direction, no publishing map, no visual identity strategy, no clear reason why the audience should return. So the creator posts whatever feels right in the moment. One video goes in one direction, the next video goes somewhere else. The thumbnails look different, the topics feel disconnected, and the channel slowly becomes harder to manage. After Channel Launchpad, the same creator has something very different. They now have a positioning statement that explains what the channel stands for. They have a defined audience, so they know who they are creating for. They have content pillars, so every video has a place inside the larger channel strategy. They have SEO directions, so the channel is not just creative, it is also discoverable. They have a 30-day launch plan, so they are not waking up every day wondering what to post. And they have visual identity guidance, so the logo, banner, watermark, thumbnails, colors, and overall channel look feel connected. Now the creator is no longer guessing. They are publishing with intention. That is the real difference. Without structure, every upload feels like a separate decision. With structure, every upload supports the larger channel. The channel has a promise. The audience has a reason to care. The content has a direction. The visuals have consistency. And the creator has a plan. This is the difference between posting randomly and launching with architecture. And this is why the blueprint matters. Because Channel Launchpad Brand Architect, the assistant, does not simply tell you to start a YouTube channel. It helps you understand what kind of channel you are building, who it is for, what it promises, how it should be positioned, how it should be found, what kind of videos belong inside it, and how to begin with purpose instead of guesswork. That is the difference between having an idea and having a channel system. A random idea can get you started, but a blueprint gives you direction, it gives you structure, it gives you a launch path, and it helps you create with clarity before you post. So before you upload another random video, build the channel it belongs to. Start with the assistant, build the structure, then create with direction. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand why structure matters before you start posting, make sure you watch the video on the end screen next. In that video, we go deeper into the Channel Launchpad Deep Research Run and how deeper research can help take your channel to the next level. You will see how research can uncover stronger content angles, clearer positioning, and better opportunities to improve traffic, attract the right viewers, and build a channel with long-term direction. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone who needs to improve traffic on their YouTube channel. Until next time, start with structure, create with direction, and keep building smarter.